Hello and welcome to episode 226 of PhotoKitchen. I'm your humble host, MD Welch, and on today's all-digital version of PhotoKitchen, we are doing it yet again, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of year. It's Lightroom Classic versus Capture One. Now, if you follow the channel at all, and from the subscription numbers, I can tell you, you probably don't. I wish you would subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. But if you have followed the channel, you know that I do one of these videos every year, starting back a few years ago. And I'm always comparing Capture One to Lightroom Classic. I don't take into account price or anything like that. I'm only looking at features and what the companies have done to hopefully earn your business for the coming year. Now, of course, this is 2026. That's what they're calling these applications. Well, at least Lightroom kind of refers to itself as 2026. Capture One still does those long sequence numbers there. But this is essentially what the application is going to look like for the foreseeable future, at least for the next 4 to 5 months. And I have to say, looking at 2026, I am kind of impressed. No, not really. Not at all, actually. Now, I will say that I have done some previous videos on Lightroom Classic's update and also the specific feature that I think is the best feature inside of Lightroom Classic, which is assisted culling. So I've already done in-depth reviews of that feature. So I'm not going to go super deep into them. I will include links to both the Lightroom overview update and the assisted culling update in the description. Please give them a watch. They need some love. Now, Capture One just came out. It is December 10th as I am recording this, and it came out on December 10th. But I have to say, it's not chock full of updates. I didn't have to take a couple of days to figure this out. In fact, just like Lightroom Classic, Capture One feels like they lifted off the pedal a little bit. In fact, this feels less like a major update than even Lightroom Classic does, even though that both programs are kind of offering this as a major update. At least Lightroom Classic is. All right, so I've already talked about assisted culling here inside of Lightroom Classic. Again, I have videos on this, but this to me is a huge step forward for Adobe Lightroom Classic and your workflow. This allows the program to use artificial intelligence to go through and look and see if things are the best. However, it's still important to point out, if we scroll down a little bit and find one of these images, that even though that Adobe says things are good, it doesn't necessarily mean that. So just as a small thing to point out, we're using assisted culling here. This image has a culling score of 86 for focus and 95 for eye focus. 100 would be tack sharp and 0 would be a hot blurry mess. This is out of focus. It's not even soft. It's out of focus. And listen, that's my fault as a photographer. But take note that Adobe thinks, no, this is good. This is absolutely fantastic and great. So do take note, early access and assisted culling means they're still working out the kinks, but you know Adobe's going to get this right. And even though that it's not perfect, I love the features of stacking, which allows you to auto stack these functionalities, or at least the different poses or times, and then also the ability to organize both the selected and rejected images using labels, ratings, even putting them into collections or deleting them entirely in the case of rejected images. Powerful thing, and even though that it's not perfect, it's good enough to at least help you start to weed through those massive shoots, thousands and thousands of senior photography, family portraits, wedding shots, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. But I will say one of my favorite features in Lightroom Classic that's growing on me, and it doesn't sound like it would be that impressive, but is found in the development module. Let's zoom out here and let's go to our remove tool. And that feature is distraction removal, dust removal. And this is now an automatic feature. Let me turn off the apply so you could see the dust here. Let's turn on visualize spots so you could see all of the dust. To me, this is, it sounds like it's a really kind of hokey thing, more of a gimmick than anything, but this is great that Adobe gives you the ability to quickly find and remove dust automatically. Again, is it perfect like culling? No, not really, but it is very, very close to perfect. And it's one of those things that would maybe take you a couple of minutes to completely remove and check all the dust in an image, maybe 30 seconds, maybe under a minute if you're really fast. But if you got to do this 20 or 30 times over a series of images, you've just saved a significant amount of time. Do the math, check the numbers. It's a lot. Now, I will say, as far as Lightroom Classic goes, there's still things that are missing. I still do not like its tethering functionality over Capture One. It's getting better, but it is not great. The biggest thing, though, for me for Lightroom Classic, one of the biggest issues is that the export functionality of this program is still terrible. It is still as basic as it was the day that it came out. Outside of presets, Adobe hasn't done anything here. You can't leverage metadata. You can't use that to create subfolders or rename images on the fly or add additional things to it. You have to do multiple presets, and it's ridiculous on how complicated it is to do something so simple that Capture One does so simple. Now, before I get into what Capture One did, I still want to stress things that Capture One is not doing right. Capture One still hasn't figured out how to sync images in real time. So if you grab a series of images here, let's go over to this, and let's just reduce the saturation on one of these thumbnails. Take note that the other three down here don't reduce in saturation at the same time. If this was Adobe Lightroom Classic, auto sync would have all three of them as a grayscale image. Even though that you have edit selected, it doesn't change. This is also still true with metadata, which is even more insane that you have to do this. Now, Capture One will tell you, oh, we have sync icons in the individual panels and da-da-da-da-da. Nope, it's still bad, Capture One. I don't care what your logic is. It is actually a terrible functionality and feature. Fix this, and that is a huge issue for Capture One. Now, a huge asset to Capture One that has been added is something that essentially catches them up to Lightroom Classic, and that is you can now combine masks. Now, I've already done this. I've done a little bit of after work here. I've created a new layer. They don't call it masks. Lightroom Classic calls it masks because they don't want people to think that they have layers like Photoshop has layers. Capture One calls it layers, which you can control with masking. They are the same thing. Now, Capture One was the first of the two applications to give you adjustment layers, essentially, being able to put your adjustments in separate layers and then control opacity and add masking to it. They were way ahead of they were way ahead of Lightroom, for years. Lightroom, when they introduced it, they did it perfectly. And one of the things that they did is allowed you to combine masks on adjustments. Capture One is finally caught up to Adobe. So now we could come in and we could have these individual masks going on. So I'll hit M here so you could see this. And you could see that we have, let me show you, here's the linear gradient tool. Let me grab the actual tool itself. There we go. And I have a linear gradient here. I have a linear gradient over here, so they're overlapping. You couldn't do this in the previous version of Capture One. It's great. You'd have to do multiple adjustments and overlay them. And now you could also then subtract as well. And it's easy as right-clicking, and then you have add or subtract here, and you could select the different tools. It's still a little clunky compared to Lightroom Classic. For example, you can't mask over the individual components of the layer to see the individual masks of each one of these things. That's unfortunate, but aside from that, it's very much like Lightroom Classic, so it's caught up to Adobe. And that's its real only major update. And I will say, this is why I think Capture One doesn't feel like a major update compared to Adobe. By the way, the culling feature inside of Capture One is absolutely terrible compared to Lightroom Classic. So a lot of people will go, oh, you're raving about Lightroom Classic's culling feature. Why aren't you raving about the culling feature of Capture One? Because it's crap. It's absolute and total crap. It's bad. But what I will say, and even though that it's not a new feature, they've made some changes though, and they've updated it, is the retouching panel. This feature in Capture One is still what's keeping Capture One at least tied, if not slightly ahead of Lightroom Classic, and it's kind of based upon what you do in the two programs here. But the retouching panel, which I've gone over in detail in previous videos, and again, I'll put links in the description down below, has the ability to do AI blemish removal, evening out skin. This is a fantastic solution. Adobe doesn't have anything like this as far as retouching goes. They don't, but what's crazy is Capture One doesn't have any automatic dust removal, but they will do something as complicated to the face. So you could do blemishes, you could remove dark circles under eyes. New features for 2026 is they include the neck area for the evenness of skin and blemish removal, which is great because it was always weird if somebody had like freckles or spots or their skin was uneven on their face. You could fix that, but then the neck would maybe still have problems and you couldn't fix it. If you're doing a lot of portraiture and you don't have the time to do the simple editing there, this is a huge time saver and still a reason why Capture One is doing such a good job, even though that their interface is still very, very clunky. I don't know why it is. So they don't have hair removal yet. I hope they put that in because that's one of the big major things. They have allowed you to retouch eyes as well as a new feature. So very cool for that. And that is a feature, while not new for 2026, it is slightly improved. So what does that mean at the end of the day? Where should you invest your money? Where should you go? Should you go to Lightroom Classic? Should you go to Capture One? Has one application won you over than another? No, I think this year is clearly a tie. I think both applications have improved things that were good in their programs and made them better, or at least solved some problems, especially in the case of Capture One. I think Lightroom Classic introduced two really nice features. Assisted culling is going to be huge. And if you're doing a whole bunch of imagery constantly, it's kind of hard to ignore the power of assisted culling. And we know that that's going to get better. I think that Capture One's probably taken note of how good Adobe's did culling. So it'll be interesting to see how they change culling, but I'm also not super excited about it simply because to your Capture One, you guys are terrible at interface design. You are really terrible at that. And by the way, I'm available for consulting. I will gladly come in and tell you everything that you need to do to make this run smoothly, because I see people who I consult or I teach struggle with your program. So I hope you fix culling, and I hope you integrate it like Adobe has instead of making it a wonky secondary application. So long story short, 2026, I feel like both companies took their foot off the gas. They didn't do a lot for us here, or at least enough to make you go, oh, should I switch? Certainly neither company did that. But I think if you're doing a lot of tethering, you're exporting out a lot of different work, and also you want to add retouching automatically, and you want to kind of eliminate some of those, time-consuming processes in Photoshop, and you don't want to pay for AI retouching, Capture One is that program. I think if you're looking for simplicity, easy to use features, and also you got a lot of images that you have to call, you got a lot of dust on the sensor, those kinds of things. The masking feature is still great inside of Lightroom Classic, to be sure. I think Lightroom Classic is still that program. And again, depending on how you feel about purchasing the program or cloud purchasing, of course, you have those options as well. But I will keep using both applications until they do something that makes me like one more than the other. Hey, speaking of like, please hit the like button down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And if you have, thank you for your support. Please share this with anybody who's wondering what these two applications did in 2025 into 2026. I think Capture One's going to have a bigger update later on in 2026, but this is what they've given me to evaluate, or us to evaluate. So there you go. So again, share that with people who may be interested. And until next time, I'm MD Welch, wishing you all the best from this very, very digital edition of PhotoKitchen. Take care.